Hey guys, welcome to the Small Town Cook channel. I'm your host Kevin Dobson, and today we're making steak and eggs. Yes, that's right, steak and eggs, but we're not talking about the 90s steak and eggs, we're talking about the healthier version. Bit of a Korean twist, bit of a bibimbap kind of style with this one. Hope you enjoy it. All right guys, now to start this one, I want you to try get your steak out, depending what kind of steak you're using. If you're using fillet, anything like that, rump steak. Here I've got a rump skirt steak, so very cheap cut. This piece of steak, about 220 grams, I'd say, cost me about $5. So super cheap, and just, you know, not many people know about it, but if you cook it right, it's gorgeous. So get that out nice and early. When you get home, whatever you need to do, just get out the steak first, you know, so it comes to room temperature. It's gonna really make such a difference when you go ahead and cook the steak. First off, I'm gonna start with my oyster mushroom. We've got a few fresh ingredients here. Everything's kind of gonna get sliced and diced and just almost put on the plate unless it needs to be cooked. So oyster mushroom, Asian mushroom, if you just want to use use buttered mushrooms. It's no real difference. So season those up, bit of olive oil, salt, give them a rub, and then just into a char grilled pan if you can. That's already on like a medium heat, you know, getting ready for your steak, but not quite yet. Everyone's always got this thing with chucking mushrooms in a pan and tossing it around. You create friction when you move things, you know. Just let it seal, get a color, caramelization, that's flavor, you know. Let's look at some of the veg, okay? So we've got a purple cabbage here, nice and cheap. I'm using carrot, crunchy as, cucumber, we always have in the fridge, avocados. I know you guys buy these for $3 a pop, so do I. Cherry tomatoes, nice and fresh, and some radishes, again, a bit of crunch, and some onion, some scallion, green onion, yeah, and some mung bean sprouts. So really, this is super simple. I just want you to grab your plate, and we're just gonna start chopping the vegetables in and just sticking it all in there. So make sure you wash all your ingredients before you start this. And it's all up to you how you kind of wanna do it. If you want it sliced, diced, I'm just gonna chop these up anyway how. Now radishes. Some of us love, some of us hate. Slice this up on a mandolin. You can use more or less veg. I like crunchy veg though, don't try to use soft vegetables. You put some peppers in here if you really want, all that kind of stuff. I just like to keep it a little bit Asian. Now they're all sliced, I'm just gonna run my knife back through them. Just giving it another texture, a bit different than everything else. All right, now we've got those mushrooms going. I'm gonna chuck a little bit more oil in there and turn that pan up in preparation now for the steak. Purple cabbage, I'm just gonna use a little bit of this. I'm just gonna put it through our mandolin here. Slicing that nice and fine. The freshness of this dish, I just love it. It's a really nice one to eat just at dinner time, you know, so light. And that's what we want at dinner, you know. We don't want these big stodgy mashed potato and steak with fried egg kind of meals. Take some of the scallion, gonna chop that in half. Just gonna, you know, thin or thick as you want. It's all about flavor. And I'm gonna get a bit of the onion end here. And when I say the onion end, when you look at the green scallion, up here is all this fragrance. Down here is all this, I guess, the whiter bit, the more raw onion, the more, you know, rough it's gonna be. Up here, really great for salads. Down here, really good for cooking. But it depends what you want, you know? And I want a little bit of that raw onion taste. I'm gonna do the green and the white in there. Where are my tongues? Where are my tongues? I'll use these tweezers, like all the professionals. Beautiful, great color on there. As you can hear, the pan's starting to heat up. So we're about ready to go in with our steak. I just want to get some sesame seeds in that back pan, going for our sauce that we're gonna mix all of this lovely vegetable in. And when we've got plain veg like this, I like something spicy, sour, you know, something good, something that's gonna just mix it all together. I mean, you could just go over with a bottle of sriracha if you really want, but that's not cooking, is it? All right, they are not toasting up back there. They need to go over there. All right, once those mushrooms are nice and grilled off, we can just take those straight off. This is like a no fuss, just lay them straight in there. Don't stress about, oh, they're hot and it's all going with the cold stuff. Look at those, beautiful. Make sure you keep an eye on those sesame seeds. Don't let them burn. Those and pine nuts are the top two most things burn in a kitchen on a day-to-day. Trust me, I know. Salt and pepper, always a good one. A little bit of oil. I'm not gonna oil the pan, I'm gonna oil this. You say, why? Why? Because if I oil the pan, it's gonna be a lot of oil in there. And I just like to massage the steak a little bit and get it in there. This is gonna be so quick, in and out, guys. Probably about 4 minutes, I'd say, 2 minutes on each side with that thickness. Once you put the steak in, please just leave it in. Do not start touching it, seeing if it's doing all right. You can hear everything with the sound of the steak that it's making right now. Everything. You can move the pan, but don't move the steak, okay? I moved the pan then to get it on the direct heat, all right? Now we've got the toasted sesame seeds, which we've toasted off. Don't use toasted sesame seeds. Buy sesame seeds and toast them, all right? Don't be so lazy. It takes 2 seconds, all right? And it's gonna give you such a good flavor from these. One thing I did forget to do is get my edamame out, which I use frozen edamame. But the good thing about this, it's just like peas, you know? So it's gonna take 2 or 3 minutes. And just to thaw those out, with still keeping them fresh and lovely, I just like to pour some boiling water just over the top and just let them sit. That's it. Just let them sit like that. No problem, no stress. Right, the rest of the sesame seeds, we're just gonna leave, so half of them into your mortar and pestle and the other half just into a little glass jar. Flip that steak over, nice golden color. So just one flip, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. I'm gonna stick some sprouts in here because I love sprouts. Let's get on to the sauce. I want you to crush those sesame seeds up. I want you to grab half a chili. You put in how much you like to. I like about half with the seeds. And all chilies are different, every single chili. So if you really want to try it, cut off the end and have a wee nibble and really find out. Smash up that garlic. And there, so 2 garlic cloves, half a chili. Again, you can cut the garlic down. You don't even have to add the garlic. Okay, so for the rest of this dressing, I've got apple cider vinegar, some runny honey and brown sugar, tablespoon of honey, tablespoon of brown sugar. Mix that together with your paste. And then I like to just go in with a little bit of vinegar. I'm just gonna take the steak off, leave it to rest on my bench. If I don't want to add any more vinegar, but I still want it diluted, just add a little bit of water. You don't have to keep adding different vinegars and sugars and everything to get the right consistency. Water is neutral. It's just such a good head. A lot of people don't turn to it, but you should, because it's a helper. All right, now we get a little bit of salt in there, just a pinch of salt. Squeeze of lime juice. All right, guys, now just a small pan, and it depends all on how you like your eggs. You like them runny, you like them hard, whatever. I mean, for this dish, I would always have a runny egg because I want it to kind of sauce the vegetables as well. Straight in. Avocado here. Hopefully she's a goodie. She's good. It's always a 50-50 call. Chucking that up. And then just slicing that on the side. And you can put that on the plate. I can kind of hear my egg going for it. I'm going to tip out these edamame now. And don't worry about everything not being dressed and raw and all the rest of it, because you're gonna do that afterwards with the dressing over the top, you know. Oh, look at this plate of goodness. Egg. Now, if I want to cook the top and the white's a little bit runny, but I want to leave the thing, just put a lid on it. Just whatever you've got around. It doesn't have to be the lid for the pan. Just put something on top. Sharp knife. Slicing. Probably about 1/4 of a centimeter, a few mil thick. For these steaks, you can't have them too thick. If you have it too thick, it's going to become chewy. So you really want a nice thin slice on that. Beautiful. This is how I love my eggs, guys. This crispiness around the bottom and then just the soft yolk. Oh my gosh. I can't get enough of that. This, I cannot wait to eat. Sesame's over the top. Lovely, lovely. All right, and now to finish off our sauce, let's just try it. Needs a bit of salt, but I don't want to put salt in it, so I'm going to put some fish sauce. This is going to give that another kind of Thai, Asian-y kind of ingredient. It's just delicious. I love it. It becomes so Moorish. And then just grabbing the sauce and just napping all of that goodness all over this dish. And again, only for the ones that love their coriander. There's so many haters out there these days. Some crispy shallots as well. I just got in the pantry. I like using these things on almost everything. Delicious, guys. Absolutely delicious. That is your steak and eggs. Enjoy. Alrighty guys, that's all from me here at the Small Town Cook channel. Thanks so much for coming in, and please hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications, and follow me on Instagram for all the weekly updates and tips. This dish hopefully makes you a better cook in the kitchen.